I've always loved gazing up at the night sky. Growing up, we would travel to the lake every summer, and I'd love to lay on top of the houseboat at night and gaze up at the stars as I fell asleep. It's easy to feel small and insignificant compared to the vastness of space. I wanted to take that vastness of space and instead bring it inside the user to help show that within ourselves, we're also full of immeasurable potential. So while this is a fashion lens, it might not be like others you see where you're accessorizing the user with digital clothing or accessories. Instead, we're letting the user retain their own clothing and instead turn it into a sort of portal into the self. So how did I create this lens? There are four main components to it. The first being this space scene here. Second is how we layer that scene on top of the user to kind of maintain the outline of their clothing. Third is the sparkling stars that come off the user as they move. And fourth is this fractal aura in the background that is reactive to sound. The space scene itself was pretty straightforward. I just used noise to create the stars in the background and then animated some noise on top of that to create the sparkles. And then lastly, I actually mapped that rotation to that of the user so that as they move, we get this background moving. Next up, the planets are pretty simple. They're just spheres with planet textures rotating around the center galaxy. And this galaxy here is actually using the new code node. Most of the galaxy is actually created using shader code. Once I had my space scene, the next step was to layer it on top of the user. And I wanted to use their clothing to create a sort of portal. I didn't want to lose their outfit. I wanted the space scene to feel as if it was a part of their clothing. So I wanted some of the folds and especially the edges to show up so that you could still tell that this was a person here. To do that, I used the body normals texture to calculate this fall off. And then I used the upper and lower garment segmentation to restrict the effect to just their clothing. And then I just use that body normals data to mix between the space scene and this incoming camera feed with the post effect applied. My next effect were the sparkling stars. I wanted these to be dynamic and respond to the user. I wanted them to appear as the user moved, kind of emanating from them, and then slowly fade out. The last effect was this fractal aura, which I have here just in front so we can see it a bit easier. Now the bulk of this material, just like the galaxy, is also using the new code nodes. Now I wanted this fractal to always be moving, so it does have a base animation, but it is also responsive to music. So I turn on the sound. We can hear there's some music playing, and you can see the fractals moving, but it will also react to the music. Now my goal with this lens is to bring some of the vastness of the cosmos, which can make us feel small and insignificant. I want to instead transpose that to inside the user and help them see that they themselves are full of limitless potential.